Hi, my name is Ben from Transform My Poker, author of the book Post Flop and World Series of Poker bracelet winner. Well, unfortunately I was bluffing about the bracelet, but you did believe me, didn't you? Bluffing is a difficult skill. It costs you money when you fail to pull the trigger, yet it costs you even more money when you try it and get called. Today, you're going to learn 5 ways to make your bluffs more successful. It's simple. You're going to boast about it, just like my World Series bracelet. Now, I'm not actually advocating boasting about your bluffs, but it is a useful acronym to help you remember these 5 key ways to improving your bluffing skills. So what's the B stand for? Be in position. I know you hear this all the time, but it's really important. Both pre-flop and post-flop, it's a huge advantage to see what your opponents do first. And it's not just about the history, it's also relevant to what might happen next. Your opponents are going to fear progressing in a hand when they're out of position. This makes them more likely to fold. You will have more fold equity and better future expectation when you make your bluffs in position. O stands for one opponent. It's not essential, but it really helps to pull a bluff off if you only have to make one person fold. I'm not going to say you should never bluff multiple opponents, but it's rare that you should be taking risks in multi-way pots. My advice, stick to one opponent. A stands for avoid newbies. Fish, calling stations, whatever you want to call them. Avoid, avoid, avoid. There are certain players, and you and I both know them, who you should never try and bluff. These are players who call too often. They're not your targets for bluffing. Ever. You can beat these guys without bluffing. Your targets are players who are good enough to fold. So next time you're considering a bluff, first ask yourself the question, is he or she capable of folding? Or what hands is he capable of folding? Or how likely is he to fold? Maybe as a percentage. All of these are great questions to be asking. Hang on, phone's going. It's the wife. She's got some advice. You're not going to believe this. Apparently, size matters, and, well, this is just ridiculous, but apparently, smaller might well be better. If you're winding up a bluff and you're asking questions like, how likely is he to fold, then you're going to need to think about how much is required. Larger bets achieve more folds, but they cost more money. Sometimes small bluffs really are the way forward. They're very cost effective. You've got to think about your bet sizing. T is for tell a true story. You might have heard people talking about, oh, you've got to tell a true story, you've got to make it real. And this is actually important. You have to be believable to pull off a bluff. If you learn to think in ranges, this gets easier. But try and imagine one hand that you're trying to represent and ask yourself, does my betting make sense? Is it believable? Is it credible? If you don't think so, you can be sure your opponent won't either. And that ties things off neatly. Go and boast your way to becoming a successful bluffer. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a Facebook like, share it, post your comments or questions, or just tell us what you think. My name's Ben Hales with Transform My Poker. Thank you for watching.